G'day everyone, I'm Andy, a yoga mate, and welcome back to the Veteran Yoga Project. And today's flow, we're going to be doing and building on the foundations that we learned in the beginner yoga course. So there's a few different moves that I'd like to be able to work on with a little bit more technique, as well as building some strength to be able to transition between the different components. Should be about 20 to 30 minutes. Beginner level. As always, we don't want you to be in pain. Discomfort's okay, but if you're in pain, please back out from it. If you feel like you're getting lost in the moves from the cues, we'll always meet back in either downward dog or you could take child's pose. Alright, so you may need some props. I always recommend just having them on the side here. And I did forget to mention, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're coming back, thanks for coming back and joining me in today's practice. So let's hook in and get right into it, eh? All right, so let's arrive on the mat. I'm going to ask you now to take a soft gaze or shut down your eyes, whatever's useful for you today. And just go internal. There's no need to take any shapes in the breath at the moment. Maybe just wiggle around, loosen up a little bit. And just start taking some breaths, deeper breaths, sorry. And then we'll do a few together. Okay, now keeping your eyes shut if you can, just placing your hands open in front of you. Straighten the back. So with me now, inhale, straighten the back, stick the chest out a little bit without puffing the back too much, and inhale, arms up, exhale, arms down through cactus, feeling your shoulder blades squeeze down, and inhale, look up. You can keep your eyes closed or open them, whichever is more useful for you, and let out cactus, looking forward. Inhale, looking up, and exhaling, head comes forward, cactus. We're just warming up the shoulders now. Inhale, look up, cactusing the shoulders. Inhale, look up. This one's different. We're going to be rotating to your right, my left, and exhale, rotate, keeping a straight back hand. You can open up your eyes if that works for you now, and your right hand, or left hand on your right leg. Inhale again, hands up, and rotate to your left, hand onto your left knee with your supporting hand. Inhale again. Big deep breath in. Exhale. I'm going to cue you through this next one. Inhale, hands up, look at the hands, and then cross over. And then from here, do 2 more each side on your own. And this is where I'll invite you to engage your Ujjayi breath, or the ocean breath, where you constrict the back of the throat and breathe out through the nose, which gives you the ocean sound. Last one, hands up and inhale, back to neutral. Now in the beginner's course I actually hadn't covered the cactus arms, so I'll just explain that quickly to you right now, even though we've done it. When we do our cactus arms, it is a bit of a shoulder warm up. So what we do is, it's like they look like a cactus. So when we bring our hands down to our elbows are parallel to the ground, and we're squeezing our shoulder blades back, and our hands, our arms ideally will be level with this plane, so the sides like we're doing this, right? So cactus arms. Cool. All right, so let's now make our way to our backs. And we're still doing some more warm-ups, a little bit more here. It's coming back here. And then feeling the ground on us, stretching the shoulder blades. And then we're gonna bring our knees up, hands by our sides. In some PT circles, you might call them dead bugs, but they, you know, whichever works for you, how you'd like to call it. We call it legs up the wall. So it's going to be a legs up the wall stretch. So from here, we're going to breathe in and lift our left leg, and we're going to flex the foot, means pulling it back towards our face, and then we're going to get our right foot and do the same thing. Legs up the wall. We're going to take a couple of breaths here. 2 more. Last one. And then as we breathe out, hugging them into the chest. All right, so now what we're going to do is take circles, slowly starting off clockwise. Right, we're going to be massaging the sacrum, or what they call the lower back, that part of the lower back. All right, so nice and slow, because we're still starting out our practice. We do store a lot of stress. Switch sides. We do store a lot of stress in our lower back. And sometimes it's just nice to be a bit more gentler and warm up the back. So from here again, now it's like breathe in and come back up to legs up the wall pose. And we're going to take our arms overhead. And we're going to breathe in and breathe out as we take our arms back to our knees and give ourselves a hug. All right, that's the move. We're going to do that 3 more times. Inhale. As we expand, putting the hands overhead, all right, and pulling our belly in towards our spine, as well as pulling our chest in. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale. Expanding, reaching towards the roof, reaching towards the back of the room or above head, and all right, that was an open mouth exhale for me, so I'm going to engage my Ujjayi breath on the next one. Inhale, big deep diaphragmatic breath, and give yourself a big hug. All right, now we're going to just quickly do some more circles. 3. And I'm going to put my timer on because I forgot to put the timer on to see how long the session is. And then from here, we're actually going to loosen up our hips, and we're going to take some circles. So we're going to take them out and then in. So holding just above your knees, right? Well, we don't want to be pulling on our knees. It's just loosening up our hips, going one direction outwards first, right? Pulling them out and help guiding them. You can flex your feet or point your toes. It doesn't really matter, whichever is most useful for you today. All right. And then take it the other way, opening up and lubricating the ball and socket of our hips. All right. So from here, we're going to place our legs down, and again, take our hands overhead or by the sides in a T, and we're just going to do a couple of supine twists. All right, so from here, inhale to set, and exhale, drop our knees over to the right hand side, so that your knees don't actually have to touch the ground, as long as your shoulders are both planted on the earth, so you could feel them grounded. Ready? Inhale again through center, as we then exhale onto the left hand side. So we're going to do this 3 more times each side. I'll take you could do it in your own breath, and I want you to see if you could notice your side ribs also expanding as we go into the stretch. So 3 times in your own time, using the breath to lead you. One more time each side and we will meet back in neutral position. Meaning knees up. And then, alright, so you can go up. We're going to be coming up to easy seat and moving towards our tabletop. Right, so there's a couple of ways that you could do this. You could grab your knees again, and this is what's called rock and rolling, so we can build the momentum with a curled back. And this is also nice to open and up your vertebrae in the spine. Right, a couple of nice gentle rocks. Then rocking up, crossing the legs, hands, and then coming over. All right. The other way to do that, we'll all meet in the side, would be to take your side, push up, work our way around, and meet in tabletop. Now, what I love about yoga, right, is that it allows you to have many modifications depending on what you're feeling like or where your mobility is. Our body will change a lot, and some days it's a little bit more flexible than others. Sometimes you might be a little bit more mobile. It's all cool to be able to modify as well. You know, same should go with this if you're working out or anything else, if you're doing any activities, and that becomes that part of self-awareness where you can just adjust and listen to your body. Okay, so let's go in now with our, we're going to do some cat-cows, and I'll show you a couple of little variants as well, which you may see in a yoga flow. So, as always, hands splayed or put apart, wrists underneath the shoulders, and then the knees underneath hips. Neutral neck, so usually you're looking 45 degrees. You can actually do that with your hand, and that's where your imaginary gaze will be, in the neutral head position. Now let's just quickly feel, right, where you were at. Feel where your hands are grounding, your knees. You could actually put a towel there if that works for you. Alright, and so you might hear in some yoga classes be a bit intuitive or something like that, or just feel the flow. Right, this is when we're just in tabletop, so we're trying to keep equal amounts of weight on all four, like the knees and the hands. Okay, and then some from here, let's meet neutral. So neutral here. All right, first of all, we're going to be doing some cat cows, traditional cat cows. So on the inhale, we're going to dip our belly and then look up. So look forward a little bit more without compressing the neck, and then exhaling, rounding the back and pulling our belly button towards our spine. Last thing is to tuck the head, looking at our knees, and then inhale, sticking our chest out like we're receiving a medal. Parade commander's coming out and he's looking at all the soldiers, sailors and airmen. And then let's round the back. We'll do this a couple of more times, 3 more times. Inhale with me, and then exhale. See if you could engage your Ujjayi breath too. Two. Last one. Excellent work. Let's meet back in the middle. Now, if you have a look here, if I can focus your attention on here. All right, if we're just staying normal, this is where as your practice becomes more consistent, right, is just seeing where we could be aware in what's going on. So here is what we're going to do, is like a pelvic tilt, what they call a pelvic tilt, right? So this is that midsection. If you can have a look now, all I am doing is just lifting my tailbone and then tucking it in, and then that's where I'm imagining I'm lifting the tailbone, right? That's that back pelvis, or even they call it duck bum if you're standing up, and people have this sort of look a little bit, right? And then we're going to tuck our pelvis in, right, without even rounding the shoulders. So that part is part of the movement of cat-cow, and that is the bit that helps us. You could take a knee or or come onto your knees or wherever are comfortable at the moment, because that might be a little bit on your wrists and hands. So that bit with the from the cat-cow is that movement in the pelvis, right? This other bit now, as part of the foundations for our cat-cow, right, is when we're splayed across here. Right, I'm going to take the focus to the shoulders now, is if you just sort of pull, like sort of lower your weight a little bit under control, but you're squeezing your shoulders or just letting them come down, you'll sort of naturally feel them, your shoulder blades come in on your back. Right, so notice that now, and then when we push up, our shoulder blades back to the neutral position, our shoulder blades come apart. So let's just do that a couple of times now, 3 times, and I invite you to use the breath and then see if you can notice your shoulder blades closing and opening. Ready? So inhale, just to dip, and exhale, pushing out, right? Inhaling, exhaling, and pushing out. Let's do it one more time. Inhaling, dip, and pushing out. Perfect. All right, so these are just some of the finer points and just suggestions to be able to see what you can notice as your yoga practice evolves. All right, so sometimes in some of the other yoga classes you might hear this as well, is the dynamic, or you could go side to side, or you could take circles. And what that means is, if we're going to be doing our cat-cows or side to side ones, is basically if we're going to go side to side, we're going to take an inhale and we're going to push our hip out, and then let's go to the right, and we're just looking to the right or to the right hand, right? And then we're going to come in through center and then going to the side. All right, that sort of gives us a little bit of a side stretch in our belly, in our side body, as well as warm up the spine in that plane, right? So let's do that 3 times. With me, we're going to start off by taking our head to the left, which means pushing our right side out towards you, the camera, right? Where you are, the camera. All right, ready? So inhale, set, and exhale. All right, inhale. Come through the center and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then coming back to center. Let's just come back now, shake the hands out. It can be a little bit on the wrists like I previously said. So let's stay nice and chilled out and nice and relaxed. All right, so that's the side to side in cat-cow. All right, the other variation now that I wanted to share with you today, which you may see, is when they say take circles. So what I'm actually going to do now is face towards the camera so you can see what's going on. All right, so I'm in my neutral position. All right, so from here, when I take the circles, engaging it with the breath is taking circles. So I'm using my elbows to come down now. So as I'm breathing in, I'm bending my elbows and then circling around, and then circling around to the top. So if I'm going to show you again, breathing in, and then at the bottom, which is like the 6 o'clock position, then I'll start to breathe out. And then I'm bending my spine, arching my spine, and then also doing my cat-cow at the same time, so that I'm stretching my thoracic or the upper part of my body. Right, I'm going to do one more in that direction. Inhale, elbows bend, and exhale, doing it the other way. So I'm going to do 3 now, and doing it the opposite direction, right? So with me, inhale, as we come around, and then at the 6 o'clock, I'm going to push out and round our back. Inhale, bend our elbows, do a little bit of back bend, and push out. Last one. All right, perfect. So let's just come up on the knees now a little bit, shake the hands out. So that's what they'll mean, or the yoga instructor will mean by take some dynamic movements whilst you're in cat-cow. So let's just do that quickly, just to recap. All right, we're in cat-cow. We're in, tabletop. And we're going to take our traditional cat-cows. You might hear them say this. Inhale, we're going to dip the belly. We're going to look up, all right, and we're going to raise our tailbone. And we're going to exhale as we push up, pull our belly button in and push the ground away with our hands, and then also our knees. Inhale, looking up and exhaling. And then that might say, come in to neutral and let's do some side to side. Like this. And then also I might invite you to see if you can notice when you're doing these ones, if you feel a little bit of a stretch in the side there when you stick your hip out, right? That's the side to side. And then the last one, right, is the circles. For me, I really like this one once I've done a couple. That's a personal fave because I get to sort of, warm up my back as well as the lower back. Perfect. So there are some of the modifications in tabletop. Now, I also wanted to work on a couple of things once we were doing the sun salutations, and what I noticed is that sometimes it's a little bit difficult, especially when you're a beginner, to see where we are to be able to get to our downward dog. All right, so let's work on the hands and knees with the transition. So I'll just give the example of where we're going to from the part of the sun salutation. So as with the sun salutations, this is just a demonstration only. This component is coming into mountain pose, right? Feet hips width apart, we lift our toes, place them back down and get a good grounding for the mat. Heels are spiking into the earth as well as the top of our head reaching towards the sky. So that's that pulling and pushing and pulling. So from here, we raise our hands, breathe in. We exhale. As we then take a forward fold, we can bend the knees, we can have our belly come onto our thighs, and then we inhale to halfway lift. And this is the bit now that we're coming to, is exhaling as our hands meet the mat, right? Is that you can place your hands and bend your knees as much as you need, okay? Bend your knees, or even you have your blocks, right? You have your blocks. Right, bend your knees, and then what we do then is take one knee and then the other knee. And this could also help if you're working out in the garden or having to take a knee and getting from a standing position down. So a lot of yoga moves always have some sort of functionality in real life as well with real life movements. So let's go to that one again. All right, we're going to do this in stages because I really want to be able to build on those foundations that we'd learnt in the beginner's course. All right, so we're here. We've come from our halfway lift. We're going to be transitioning now. So halfway lift, hands on our thighs, on here or on the ground, depending on where your flexibility is, or even using the blocks. All right, I'm going to go with this one with the blocks because that's where you might be finding it a little bit difficult at this stage to get to tabletop from that standing. So we've gone in, we're at our halfway lift. From here, right, we're going to be lower, from halfway lift, we're lowering back down. We can bend our knees, right, bend your knees. See, my chest is pretty much on my shoulder, and then I put my hands flat like it's going to be in tabletop, right? And I'm taking the weight a little bit, and then by stages, I could go right foot down, left foot down, and then move the blocks out of the way. All right? So that's what we're going to be doing. That's the move to get to transition from that bit. I will show you one more time. All right? So from here, using the blocks, reaching up, forward fold, inhale, halfway lift, blocks are there ready, exhale, we change the block setting as we put our knees to our thighs, one foot back, another foot back, move the blocks out of the way, and now we're in tabletop. So from tabletop, we can move into what we covered just before, which was our different cat-cows, right? The intuitive cat-cows or traditional cat-cows, angry cat. Now what we can do now is sometimes people might find it hard or difficult to be able to see where it is getting into plank. So the easy way that I've found getting into plank, if you're not quite there yet, is to even just do it like this. And you can modify your sun salutation to do this. All right, so we're getting back down to here. All right, to get into the plank is like this, inhale to set. I always try and inhale to set first and then move into the transition is just to move my left leg back or my right leg back. And then inhale, and that is our push-up position. All right, so I don't want to be sagging like this or too much like towards a downward dog. I want to be putting the weight of my shoulders over my hands, right? From that from tabletop, you should be there anyway, right? And it's just from here, it's just lifting and taking the foot back, directly back, and then flexing the toes, right? Tucking in the toes, and then the other one is taking the weight up to the hands, all right? That's also a good option for full plank, or it is also absolutely 100% okay to take a knee when you're doing your push-ups. And in that case there, you would just be taking the knees back a little bit and then moving your weight forward. Okay? So whichever way works for you and your mobility today. So from here, let's get into our plank position. First of all would be right foot back, left foot back, and then right foot forward, left foot forward. So these could be actually some of the warm-ups and workups to build the strength in your wrists, in your shoulders, and in your hands when we're doing part of this. And you could actually get quite sweaty by just practicing that in the warm-up part of the sun salutation. So you could actually just make it sun salutations. And then sometimes, you know, there's ones where you could work up to 108 salutations, which is like a celebratory thing in yoga, and you're doing 108 sun salutations. But we're not going to do that today. We're just transitioning from our tabletop to the plank. Now, so if you can notice on the back there, so we've gone from flat foot, and we're tucking our toes, which means our toes are bent like this. So again, getting into the plank position. From here for the full plank is left foot or right foot back. Right, keeping our weight over our shoulders, right foot back, and that's our plank position. We've got to tuck tail a little bit. We're tucking our tail, like what we talked about. See that little bit of difference there, how you'll see in my pelvis. Right, so slightly tucked tail, sheet forward, or if we're on our knees, again, hands splayed, knee back slightly, so probably one fist's worth, and then we take our weight forward. And that is our modified position getting into our plank, and then also our moving towards the chaturanga, which is the low push-up position, which I want to go over with you now. Okay, there's a couple of different options in regards to lowering down. So when we're in the warm-up and we're going to be coming down into, we've come into our plank, whichever way the plank is, I'm going to do the example first. All right, the first example would be coming from the plank here, and we're coming into that low push-up position. First one would be hands, knees, chest, means exactly this. So knees, chest, hands, sorry. So knees down, lowering down, and then our hands come in, and then our feet are untucked. That is the first method of coming down into low push-up position from there. So I'll do that again and talk you through it so that you could practice it at home. All right, so we're coming from here, push-up position, and we set again, breathing in and exhaling, knees down, And we're keeping our elbows by our sides, not flaring them out, chest and chin, which just means that we're lowering that whole upper body at the same, and then we untuck our toes at the end there. Right, let's do that one more time. From our tabletop, left foot, right foot, inhale to set, knees, chest and chin, keeping our elbows in, untucking the toes. Perfect, guys. Awesome. So now that was the first variation. All right. This next variation, from once we're down onto our hands and knees like this, is doing the modified plank. All right, from our hands and knees. So from there, you could do it one of two ways: is walk your hands forward a hand length. Right, it's not much of a movement, but it does make a lot of difference, because when we set, our hand are underneath our shoulders. So from here in the neutral position, we can take a step forward with our hands, and then lower down like this. Instead of lowering down, we're just leaning forward and taking our weight forward. To start off with, we're building that upper strength in our hands, and that is enough to do. That's part of the lowering down, and then the push-up position. So this variation could be done in one of two ways, which is left hand forward, right hand forward, and then as we inhale and we exhale, that's the lowering part. We're shifting our weight forward, and we're sort of tucking, we're arching our back and doing a bit of a modified cow by sticking our chest out and gazing forward. All right, so that is the push-up component, right? And then the back bend, and then meeting back in neutral. Cool. That's awesome. And that is really all that I wanted to be able to take you through today with this flow, because it's all about having the options and being able to choose what works for you at this moment in time to your mobility and flexibility. From an easy seat, you're going to close your eyes down. And we're going to take a couple of rounds of triangle breath, right? So you can breathe in. So take a soft gaze or close your eyes, and we're going to, you're going to breathe in for a count of 3. You're going to breathe out for a count of 3, and you're going to hold for a count of 3. We'll do this a number of times. So I'll let you know, probably 10 times. And then we could just breathe into it and imagine a triangle shape when we do this. So with me, inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Last 2. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Awesome, guys. So keeping your eyes closed with the soft gaze, let's take now a 3-part breath and then just let it all go. We're going to do a couple of those to just take that last cleansing out of our session. So with me, inhale to upper body and then take a sip. Last one, and let it out. One more time. Inhale, big and deep, middle section, top section, maybe one more sip, and let it go. All right, let's loosen up. All right, take your hands to prayer. Take your thumbs towards in between your eyes. All right, peace be in mind. Take your hands to your lips. Peace be in what way you're speaking. And take it down towards your heart center. And peace be with your heart and what it is you're thinking today. All right. Thanks for joining me in today's session, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Namaste. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much. Now, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and then hit the bell button. We also have our private Invisible Injuries, a Veteran Yoga Project private group, where if you have any insights or any questions, please ask them, because this is where the idea for today's flow came in through one of the participants on the course. They emailed me and I want to be able to share this with you. So there might be a snippet on the group as well as the online platform. So until next time, have a good one and have a great week. I hope this has set you up for a good day.